Hi everyone. So today we're going to discuss about keywords. So this is for the beginners out there, and also for those people who's already playing the game but are quite confused on how the some of the keywords in this game works. So with that, I kind of have put up a short list here of the things that I want to discuss with you guys. So let us start first with the battle styles. So this is quite basic for the others. So for the newbies, please listen and hopefully you'll get more of an idea how it works. Okay, so we have three battle styles in this game: the Guardian, Support, and Power. So basically, they don't really do anything in the game, just a classification for the card so that you know which one is which. So these are the things that you can see on the card on the top left. So you can see here a red, a blue, and a yellow. Yellow are Support, red is Power, and blue is Guardian. So this will come in handy when probably later down the line wherein I mean there are already some skills this in this game wherein they're saying that this ability will affect all guardians in your team. So if you have those skills, you might want to put a lot of guardian cards in your deck. So that's how it works. Likewise, same goes with um, power and support. All right, so that's the first thing that we need to discuss. The next thing that we need to discuss are keywords. So keywords are attached to cards. Let's say this one, Heimdall is has a keyword of Guardian. So this is like an extra classification of cards in cases also wherein there will be some skills that will benefit a certain keyword. Let's say in this case it says here when an Asgardian character gains an armor, this card gets +2. So it means that it doesn't limit to just Heimdall. So if you have other cards that also has this keyword, this ability will trigger. So right, um, I've already listed here a few, so you can just pause the video and then you can look into it. So Asgardians are basically coming from Thor, even if you're probably a fan of the Marvel universe, so you might as well already know this. But for the sake of this tutorial, Asgardian is coming from mostly from Thor cards. Marvel Knights are coming from Elektra, GOTG from Star-Lord, Stark Industries, Iron Man, Intergalactic War, Captain Marvel, Spider-Verse, Spider-Man, and Ragnarok Hela. So, and there's an Avengers card which currently doesn't we don't have a card that synergizes Avengers cards, but we might have one down the road when we have more expansions. Also here at the keywords, I have listed in the last part here, there are mechanics that are quite specific to their to their group or category, what you as you might say. So in this case, you there are mechanics that is quest. This is solely in Electra's cards, but this might change in the future when we get more um, expansions. Also, we have Triumph in Star Lord. Last word is actually in everything. There are a lot, but mostly prevalent in Captain Marvel's deck. And Maverick, most of them are just in Hela's cards. Okay, so now to the more deep dive of the skills or abilities or mechanics. Let's just put here mechanic. Okay, so let's start with guard. Um, cards with guard. With guard. Yeah. All right. So let's say this one, Luke Cage. So he has a no. Don't use her. Wrong example. Wrong example. Who has innate guard? Okay, Yellow Jacket has innate guard. Okay, there. So as you know in this game, the targeting of the attackers. So when the battlefield is already working, your units or N units in particular, they will attack a random opponent in your opponent's field. But when a card has this guard ability, um, they will be forced to attack that unit with guard. So it says here, opponent must first attack your characters with guard. So they are a great decoy. So in placement, normally you would want these units to be put in your lower in your far right so that they can tank more damage. You don't want them attacking, you want them to be attacked. So it's just a general positioning. But then if you have a different strategy, like you want them to die as soon as possible, you might want to put them on the left. But generally you want them on the far right. Next, right? Next we have Iron Will. Iron Will is found in only some cards. Why? Okay, there. So let's say here, Carol Danvers actually has Guard and Iron Will. Iron Will is very useful. It just means that she will not die as long as she has armor. Armor is this number on the top of the power. This is the power and this is the armor. As long as she has power, she won't. She has armor, she won't die. So if you have equipments that can give her more armor, she will continue to live. So a very strong keyword. Um, Next on the list is puncture and pierce. So please do not be mixed up with them. They are kind of the same. So what puncture does is you see here, right? As we've mentioned, Iron Will, as long as she has a shield, an armor, she won't die, right? But puncture will actually counter this. Why? It will Puncture will ignore the armor of the unit. It will directly just attack the power itself, so that so that's a very good counter to a lot of users who's reliant on armors, right? Next one is the card. Okay, let's just pull up puncture here so that you can have a sample of what are the cards that has puncture. So most of so they are weapons, most of them. So in this case, Silver Centurion Blade. This is in Iron Man's deck. It's one of the most useful cards that we use because it gives puncture. Also, the other one is Godslayer that is in the Star Lord deck. Also gives puncture, right? And let's go to this later. And then for Pierce, let's go to Pierce. Okay, Pierce is currently only seen with Destroyer. This is a very good, um, this is a strong keyword. So it just means that, let's say, Destroyer has 20 power, and then your opponent has only 10 life, right? So there is an excess of 10 damage. What will happen to that 10 damage is will carry to the right unit of your opponent. So meaning if there are um, so meaning you want the units you want destroyer to attack the left. If you see here, attack the left. It's quite funny because you want the pierce, you want the excess damage. As you can see here, excess damage is dealt to the character on the right. You want them to overflow to the next units. So there are some games, that's why destroyer is one of the finishers as well, because he can kill multiple units at once. So that's very good. Okay. Next in our list, we have invocation. Um, Invocation is a skill that only triggers once. The time when you put them in, the time when you put them in the you see here, I'll just read it. Skills that trigger when a card in hand is played. So when you first play the card, it will trigger. So one tip that I can give you guys is, let's say, Falcon. Falcon gives an attack of plus 3 give an attack character, so meaning a red card, a plus 3 power, right? So let's say you have one Falcon in your hand, and then you saw another Falcon in the shop. What will you do? Do you buy the Falcon in the shop outright so that you can combine it to a 2-star Falcon that you can give plus 6 power to your opponent? No, you don't do that. Why? Put the Falcon, the 1-star Falcon first in the battlefield so that you can trigger the plus 3 power. And then you buy second Falcon in the shop so that it will combine into a 2-star Falcon, and then you can re-put him in the battlefield and then it will give you additional +6 power. So technically you want to maximize the invocation ability. That's what I'm saying. Okay, next we have Assault and Annihilate. So for Assault, um, Assault. Okay, so here, Stealth Armor actually has both Assault and Annihilate at the start of when you play him because it's an in because it's an invocation skill. Okay, Assault means that it's always at the start of the battle. It will always attack first. So as you know, during the game, normally the units on the left attacks first. But if you have Assault, he will be the one first attacking, regardless of where he is. And then next air, you can see there's Annihilate. The Annihilate is will always attack the nearest opponent. So what this combo means, since Stealth Armor has both Assault and Annihilate, he is a very good character to snipe enemies. Let's say your opponent is a Hela deck, right? And most of the Hela decks, they have their most powerful unit at the far right. So it's harder for you to hit them. That's the idea. So what you do is you put a stealth armor on your far right. He will attack first because of the assault skill, and then annihilate will trigger and it will attack the nearest opponent, which is the one in front of it, the one in the far right. So there you go. It means that he's a very good sniper card. Okay. Next one we have critical hit and retaliate. Critical hit is basically how it sounds. You attack your power when you attack, it deals double damage. The only difference, please note that critical hit only works when you attack, but not when you get hit, because we have a different keyword for that, which is retaliate. Retaliate is the one that gives double damage when you get attacked. So let's see. For critical hit, there's a lot of cards that have that. So, but there are only quite a few people who has retaliate. So we'll showcase that. So one of them is Thor. This card gets an when taking attack C, you deal double damage to that attacker. So it's good to put cards. Let's say you want to stun. You want to put guard on Thor, or you want to stun Thor, or anything that doesn't make him attack. That's very good. So that's what you want to put on him so that you can maximize the retaliate skill. Okay, next, defeat and triumph. What defeat means is that when you kill an opponent. So let's see there. Defeat. Um, I want something that is easy to. Okay, let's just do this here. So Rocket Raccoon has a defeat mechanic. So he will deal damage to an opponent equal to the number of GOTG characters. So when Rocket Raccoon deals a killing blow, this ability will trigger. Likewise, same with critical hit. When this will not trigger when you killed an opponent by getting hit. Okay, so this defeat won't work. It needs you need to be the one attacking. The next one, which is Triumph, this is mostly in GOTG deck, the Star Lord deck. Triumph is something that carries over, which is why Adam Warlock is one of the key cards in GOTG card. So it says here, GOT give your GOTG characters +4 power. So it says here that the skill is triggered upon winning a battle. It doesn't matter if Adam Warlock dies in that round. Um, this skill will still trigger as long as you win the battle. So the earlier you get the cards with Triumph, the better for you, because you can have the abilities trigger more. Next one is Last Word. Last Word is something that happens when your character dies. So a good example here is Moonstone. Moonstone's last word is deal 4 damage to 3 opponents. So Upon dying, you're technically dealing 12 damage. So Moonstone is a good card. We have a lot of card that has last word skill. Next is Maverick. What is Maverick? Is in mostly Hela cards. This is used. It's a skill technically that will trigger when you only have one character in your battlefield. I'm pretty sure most of you already know this because you've been dealing with Hela quite a lot. I have a lot. I have some viewers that are requesting to are asking how to deal with Hela because she's quite annoying. As you see here, she deals damage equal to this card's power to all opponents. So there are people who bump up Hela's power. Let's say they bump her to, let's say, 50. She is at 50 power, and then they send her out alone in the field. So technically, Maverick skill will trigger outright and dealing 50 damage to all your opponents. So that's what I think that's one thing that people are having a hard time to deal with, right? So that's how Maverick works. There are also other cards who has Maverick skill, like Destroyer again. He doubles his power and gains critical hit. Right? Next one we have Quest and Reward. Quest and Reward is seen in Electra decks. Uh, okay, so let us check this one. Okay, so you see here the quests are things that you want to accomplish in game. For this example, you want to own at least 20 battle gems and then you will reap the reward. So in this case, for King of New York, once you earn 20 battle gems at one point, not this is not cumulative, so it means that you need to have the 20 battle gems in your hand at that point, then this will trigger. It will give you a Marvel Knight character to your shop at the start of each turn and reduce cost by 1. So um, there are decks that can be built around this mechanic. And then the last few things, let's start with Assemble. Assemble is uh there are only a few cards using this. Most notably is the Rallying Cry because this is free, and Jessica Jones. So Rallying Cry, if you're not familiar, when you use this, you will be dealt three random cards. So the three random cards that you will be getting are dependent on the conditions here. The conditions in this card are the card that will be revealed are cost of 4 or lower, and then it will give it a +7 power. So technically, it just gives you an option. This is a draw a new card and then you have an option from three. That's what assemble is. Same with Jessica Jones. She has an assemble a quest, so you will get three random quests, and then you get to choose which one you like. Right? Stunned. So this is a state that is being dealt to characters. So when an opponent or any character actually in that matter that has a stun state, let's say the web shooter, um, it deals damage to two opponents and give them stun. So when they are stunned, they will skip a round of action. They won't do anything. It's pretty self-explanatory. Next is Speed Strike. As of the moment, we only have one character. We only have one card that has the Speed Strike, which is the Red Hawk. And it's not reflecting. Why? Oh, there. Because it has space in the middle. Okay, so Red Hawk, Speed Strike means that when he attacks, this card deals damage before being attacked. So let us say your card, let's say this Red Hawk is 7 power. Your opponent is also 7 power. So normally when they attack each other, when you hit it, both of them will die. But since Red Hawk has the Speed Strike, he will deal damage first. So the opponent will die first, and then Red Hawk won't get hit anymore. So in cases that your opponent, let's say, has 15 power and then you have 7, you will still die. Okay. The last two, we have the special action and action time. Special action is seen in equipments. uh wait. Okay, if you see here, all of the items, all of the things that has special action or equipment mostly are for support units. So back to the web shooters, special action technically replaces your normal attack. You won't So that means that when you use this weapon, that the character that is equipping this weapon will use this weapon, and then you won't be getting any counter attack. So that's what's good about special action cards. So in a way, your support characters will most likely you want them to have a special an equipment so that they can activate their special action, whatever that equipment is, and then be you won't get the counter attack. Very useful, and then you can just put them in front of your battlefield. And the last one we have is action time. um, so let's see Spider-Man. Let's go with Spider-Man. She has +1 action time, so innately Spider-Woman will attack 2 times whenever it goes to her turn. That's how it works. The only problem with Spider-Woman at this point, at this level, let's say 1 star, she has one action time, but she only has 2 power. So most likely she will die. So if you have a way of making her beefed up, if you can get her power very high, this plus action time will help you very very much. And like also here, Ultron, most of the time these cards, whenever you increase their star, the action time also increases. So they are good cards. Um, I guess that is all for now. If I have forgotten something, you can put it in the comments below. I'll try to respond to them and then put up some remediation on the things that I have missed. Hopefully you guys learned a lot here. Also, shout out to Winter Sun who gave me the idea to make this video. He's someone in Discord. He's a moderator in the Discord server, official Discord server. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.